Hello, this is Builder Elephant, and for this episode of My AFOL Life, I thought we'd look at the 2025 Halloween sets that we have in our collection. So we'll take a closer look at the Haunted Mansion Creator set and also the Jack-o'-lantern pickup truck. We will start with our smaller set, the Jack-o'-lantern pickup truck, set number 40822. This set has 177 pieces, and it was designed for kids 8 and up, but us AFOLs who are well over that 8 focus more on that plus sign. And it's a standard square box. On the back, typical, you kind of see things you can do with the set. You've got the pickup truck with the jack-o'-lantern. You can see we were going to put things inside that jack-o'-lantern. The other side is the farmer and a spider. And if you want to see like actual piece size, that's on the top here. So they put for the pieces, the spider creature piece for the 1-to-1 ratio. Usually it's like a minifigure, so I'm surprised they use a spider there. But that's like the box, and then there's one instruction manual in this, and it actually takes 3 bags, which I was a little bit surprised about. So like on it, was it page 19, you see the second bag for the truck. So you're using 2 bags for the truck and only 1 for the jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. Now the jack-o'-lantern pumpkin is attached, so it doesn't fall off, so it's really secure, but it was designed to come off of the truck and still be a separate piece. So now if you wanted the jack-o'-lantern, you just use these jumper plates and tiles with these curved tile pieces to create the mouth and eyes, but the rest of the jack-o'-lantern looks like a simple pumpkin. So you could do this design all the way around if you didn't want to use it for just Halloween, you want to make it more of an autumn set. And then there's a round plate at the bottom, but a round plate on top with these plant pieces for the stem that come off. And the reason it comes off is, as we saw with the box, there are pieces inside. So you get a standard pumpkin for our minifigure size and a single skeleton piece. Now, when I put these in, you're going to notice there's a lot of room in there. So I could probably fit an entire skeleton in there, not just its head, but you can put whatever you want in there. Now, the truck, kind of a nice, simple, but fun build. You've got those tan green or sand green pieces. You got the 2x4 plate and these leaf pieces for the pumpkin to sit on. And I like the branching of the leaves because it kind of gives it that little like just more rural look to it. And you've got some vines sticking out the front. And so this is a Halloween jack-o'-lantern truck, and it's just not a pickup truck you use around the farm. You've got these nice translucent green windshields instead of like a translucent green slopes. I'm sorry, clear. You got the green, and the headlights, instead of be like yellow or clear again, you're using that translucent green again. And for the bumper, you get a long bone, and then around the side, you kind of see how it looks. As we turn around for the back, we get purple brake lights instead of the red, and a little grill piece here in that gold. And then the bottom is just a very long plate piece. So it's a very sturdy build, not going anywhere. The spider can be released so it's separate because it just sits on this little 1x1 round plate with the angled hollow stud with the 1L bar. And then, of course, we have our farmer. Now the farmer himself, who sits there with the single steering wheel, you wouldn't really think of him as a Halloween character. In fact, the only thing that kind of gives it a clue it might be Halloween-y is that he's sweating. Now, that could be from hard work in the sun, or that he's being scared by something. You get a little farmer hat, and I love these fedoras. They're really just a great piece. Very simple overalls. You got tan for the overalls themselves, and more of this sand green color for his actual shirt. But this is like a really well-designed minifigure for something that doesn't come in a CMF series. But overall, I thought this was an amazing set. This, and I also want the Halloween Wraith, but it's not in my budget. And they also have that Altar of the Dead set, which I do not have, probably won't get because of doesn't have any pieces that I'm interested in. But this is by far my favorite of the Halloween season sets. Technically, the Haunted Mansion set number 31167 is not a Halloween season set, but a creator set, so it's part of their 3-in-1 series. But because the Haunted Mansion, and you can't think Haunted Mansion without Halloween, we're going to consider this 736-piece set that was made for kids 9 and up Halloween. And luckily for us, Builder Cheetah, who built this with me, just turned 10, so he has moved from the 9 to the plus himself. as expected, it comes with 3 instruction manuals. You get one for the mansion, one for the train and the station that it pulls into, as well as the ghost ship. And I was very impressed with the size of these things. Now, as an AFOL builder, many of you may relate, but I actually need reading glasses when I'm doing my sets now, especially for those brown pieces. But these things were so huge, I rarely actually needed them. So, hey, bonus for our AFOLs. So Builder Cheetah put all these minifigures together and kind of posed them when we were done with the set. So he put the skeleton with his arms raised with the lantern. He's got the werewolf climbing the gate. But he did design this on the inside. So the front of our gate actually looks like this. You can kind of see the werewolf trying to get in with his big bone. But you've got a simple locking mechanism where you've got a printed tile piece to look like the gate is chained up. But it's not chained up. We can actually open it as much as we like. So even though it looks like it's locked, it's not. And while I've got him here, we'll look at these minifigures. You've got a werewolf. Now we've been seeing a lot of werewolves. Most recently we've got the Spider-Man werewolf. But, you know, kind of a fun design. I love these head pieces. They look really cool. And now that I'm using this figure, I'm wondering if we got a Spider-Man werewolf because of this set, since they already had the mold in production. And, of course, you also have the standard skeleton. Now, this skeleton has the arms with the opposite grip. So, while one arm is going vertical, the other is horizontal. So that's really the only difference with these skeletons. Now let's move on to that mansion. For a 3-in-1 set, I was really impressed with the mansion build and just how much detail and playability they put into it. And I do plan on building the train and the sailboat later, but I'm going to do that after Halloween when this is no longer like a decoration for our place. But once again, Builder Cheetah did all the designs. So he's the one who put the vampire lady on the front porch and the ghost floating on the roof. And now this building can open up so we can play inside. But before that, we're just going to turn it around so you kind of see what it looks like as a house closed. But on this side of the house, with the tower, you've got that bat on top. There's a ghost peeking in the window. We've got our haunted tree here on the side that's got eyes and teeth. And then the back, not a lot of detail. This is like you don't really see this part, but you're gonna see kind of the playability features that we have here with these cranks that we get to turn things that are inside the mansion. And then I think my favorite part of this build was actually the side of the house with the porch here, but the graveyard. There's a graveyard here with all these little stones, and I loved all the different headstones they made for this set. Now, to open it up, it opens from the back, so you'll see this little seam here, and there's a little hinge here for it to actually open. So I'm going to open it up so we can look inside this set. And now let's get some closer shots. For the front entrance, we have a working door that people can come in and out of our mansion. And we have a picture of the vampire woman on one side drinking some blood, and on the other side, a picture of the mansion itself. And then when we go above the main entrance, we get to the second floor, we have the organ. And I love, again, Builder Cheetah placed all of these minifigures, so he had Frankenstein playing the organ. And I really love this organ build. You just got those little candle pieces in this gold color and some cones to build the pipes of the organ, and of course the grills, which we see a lot with piano pieces. But the organ is a really cool, simple build, and I love those micro builds within these. And of course you have the big candelabras on the side. The top floor of like the simple side of the house has nothing on it. It's just a place where you can put some minifigures. But underneath was actually one of Builder Cheetah's favorite elements, is that grandfather clock. And now I'm going to show you why it's his favorite element, because of that little turn here, this little Technic pin bar. Because what happens is if we turn the clock, you can actually have the little ball underneath swing. This red table here is a really cool solution to what to do with all the pieces. Now for the train, we've got this mannequin wearing the train conductor's hat, and then the other mannequin is wearing the pirate hat for our sailing ship. So I thought it was just a really cool solution on how to store these pieces that really didn't fit in this particular build. On the second floor, the tower side, we've got this simple dresser with, those little ingot pieces for the drawers. But when you turn it and look into that corner, you're going to see like another little like nightstand with like a red jewel on it. Well, that is actually the thing we can turn that has the ghost peeking out the window or inside our mansion. I love that we get these 1x4 tile pieces printed to look like boards with nails in the side to make it look like all these windows are boarded up. It just adds that haunted, dilapidated mansion look. And that goes on all three of the sides. And then, of course, at the front, I do love that patio porch. But I think my favorite part of the outside build has to be that cemetery. As a micro builder, I appreciate all the small little things they did to make this cemetery. Now, for decoration, you've got the pumpkin growing out of the side, and I love how they used a skeleton leg piece to look like this skeleton's reaching out and coming out of the grave back to life. And then we have three different ways to build a tombstone. We've got this round tile kind of used in the front, and then we use a square and a half circle tile on the side. And then, to make it look like this headstone's falling down, this is put on a hinge plate so you kind of get that effect. But the only thing I'm kind of curious about is, Lego used an illegal building technique for that. See how it's between the studs? Of course, we have to talk about this haunted tree. I love the teeth and the eyeballs, and there's just so many different ways they made those branches that it just looks like it's alive and it's ready to grab a trespasser. I love the roof design. It's a few simple steps that make it look ornate. You've got that bat on top of the tower. You use these grating pieces and telescope pieces, just kind of add a little detail on the top, and it just looks fantastic. And here are the last of our three minifigures. We'll start with our vampire woman here. I love the printing to make her dress and the face, but what I really loved about this minifigure was her hairpiece. I just kept like talking about this hairpiece when we were building, and Builder Cheetah was like, you gotta make sure you mention it in your video. So I'm like, okay, I will. But I just love the way this hair is flowing to the side and all curly. And then, I did some research and I found out this is like a headpiece that's used a lot with like mermaids or characters that are underwater. You can kind of see that, how it'd be flowing in the currents. But I love this piece, especially because of the hair. Now the ghost, fun thing is I actually don't have a just plain ghost minifigure like Vitruvius was in the Lego movie. All mine are like creative specters and CMF characters. So I'm glad to finally get like kind of the more classic looking Lego ghost underneath it. And then to create those black eyes and mouth, it's just a monocolor white minifigure body with a monocolor black head. And so the minifigure itself is kind of cool just with the simple monocolors, but it also creates the cool effect of the ghost. And last but not least is Frankenstein's monster. And I know, Lego calls it Frankenstein, and most people call it Frankenstein, but Frankenstein was the doctor, and the monster, this is the monster or the creature. But another thing I just don't have, I've got Rocking Monster, the rocker monster from the CMF series, but I don't have a plain the creature or monster. So I'm glad I kind of got that. It's another reason I love this set, because I got a lot of like these classic mythology characters that I didn't have as Lego minifigures. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe or check out some of our other videos. Until next time, let's keep building together.